Good morning and welcome to Daylight Church Online. We're just so thankful that you're joining us this morning and hope that you have a great experience. We want to let you know that if you'll go to mydaylightchurch.com, there's a card there that says Online Church. And on the Online Church card, it'll tell you everything you need to know about being a part of our online church community, how you can get involved in small groups, how you can give financially, how you can be involved in the service projects that we do. So even if you're in Kansas or Cambodia, you can sure join us and be a part of our church. We'd like you to check it out there and introduce yourself. So go to mydaylightchurch.com and check out the online church card. Thanks.
Welcome. If you're not a regular here, every couple of months we just sit around and we talk about what we review the sermons that we've had for the last few weeks. So it's a lot like what our Q&A group does on Wednesday nights. But we like to we like to get around the tables and talk because it's more than just. We believe community is more than just somebody standing up here talking at you, right? Let's take those things and let's talk about it a little more. Let's see what it is in the real world and get around tables and talk about it. So that's what we do. So it's totally intentional. So a couple of rules, because we have those, just for this week. So, nope, monopolizing, right? Everyone around the table needs to talk, get a chance, get to hear what everyone has to say. Nope, agenda time. Right? This is not a time for you to lay down, here's my soapbox, I'm going to speak about it for 30 minutes. Like, no. Yep. Listen. Listen to the people around you, hear what they have to say, really hear what they have to say. I like this slide because it's sitting around a campfire. Like, this is the idea. You're sitting around a campfire, you're talking to each other, here's what I think, here's what's going on, it's a safe space. And then the microphone. So, Siler is not here, so we have a new person doing the mic. Gabby. Everybody give Gabby a hand. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to talk around your table about the question. Then Gabby's going to walk over and hold the mic up to your mouth when you volunteer. Not hand you the mic, because then you'll take the mic and go. But she will hold the mic up to your mouth. You'll have a few seconds to talk. And if you talk too long, Gabby has permission to take it away. All right? We're good with the rules? We're good to go? All right. So here's a review of what we've done in the last couple of months. Adversity, hope, deconstruction, determinism versus deism, encouragement, thinking about what you think about. This sounds really easy to come up with 3 questions about all of this, right? So, this is what so I want to kind of keep these in your head. I'm going to go back to this slide. But they do go together if you think about it, and that's what we're going to do today is think about it. So you ready for your softball? There's always one easy one to get you talking. So I do this at the beginning of my youth group. I do this at the beginning of my Q&A on Wednesday, so I'm stealing it for here. Around your table to get you talking to each other, give me one good thing that happened this week that you want to tell your group about. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, practice for Gabby. Anybody want to talk about what great thing happened this week? Anybody want to say it out loud? Got one in the back. Raise your hand again. Make sure you saw it.
I got a story published in the March 4th edition of Women's World magazine.
Nice.
It's on Thank you. It's on page 47, and it's a mini mystery titled Truth in the Tooth.
Nice. That's a great thing.
Yes.
Who else? Somebody else want to brag on themselves this week? I know you have to follow that, right? Anybody else?
God gets the glory. March 4th. Mm-hmm. God gets the glory. It's not me. God let this happen.
All right, anybody else before I move on? We got one right up here, Gabby. Keep your hand up till she finds you.
Hey, I'm going to brag on H. Last week's sermon, I was saved at the age of 13. last week was the best sermon I have ever heard in my life. And I would really encourage everybody who has not heard it to listen to it.
Awesome, thank you. All right, great practice. We understand the rhythm, right? Talk amongst your table for 5 minutes or so. We'll answer the question out loud if you want to do it. Thank you, Gabby. Perfect. All right, ready? That was the softball. They get harder from here. You ready? All right. Think about a time when you changed your mind about something. So think about that for a second. Why did you change your mind? What was the situation? Who was included? Good results, bad results. Like, talk about that time. So think about a time for a second when you changed your mind about something. Whether you like Mediterranean food or not, or something deeper, right? Think about that. Now, what did you do? How did you make that decision? How did you go through that? Who was involved? All that kind of stuff. Make sense? 1, 2, 3, go. Gabby's got her mic. Who's ready? Who's got a fun one? Who wants to start? I see a lot of people pointing at each other. Who wants to start? I will call on people. Anyone? Anyone? There was a lot of conversation going on, so something happened. All right, here we go.
Go ahead, Chloe's going to share
What?
about her school. Go ahead.
Okay, so later last year, I was gonna apply to Manual for high school, but I go to Brown currently, and I kind of like how individual it is at Brown. No hate on Manual though, but I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay here because I feel like I have more opportunities, especially with the path that I want to take in like mathematics. So yeah.
All right, so who did you include? Like, who else did you talk to about that?
Well, I talked to a lot of my friends and asked them for their opinion on that, and then I made like a pro-con list that I worked on, like with my mom. So yeah.
Nice. Who else? All of a sudden it gets super quiet. All right, Paul, your table. Do y'all have one y'all could share?
Wait, where's?
Who wants to share?
Okay, all right. I'll share mine. It's a little bit silly and might even seem a bit trite, but because it's totally vain. It has everything to do with clothing. Just, I had a cousin of mine give me this coat years ago, before I had children. And it is a nice lambskin leather or sheepskin leather, and it's really soft, but it tears easily too, apparently. And easier than tough, hide or whatever, cow leather. Anyway, when I was staying with him, I'd stayed the night. We had a great time, and he decided he wanted to give me this coat, which fit beautifully, and it looked awesome. And I said, okay, great, wow, thanks. And I didn't pay a dime for it.
Paul,
Yes.
short story.
Okay, short story, sorry. Anyway, the coat had a couple tears in it, right? And that kind of thing really bothers me because I'm kind of Tremaine's laughing at me. I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like that. So I thought, well, I'm just going to throw this thing away or donate it. And so I threw it down in whatever, I don't know, it was clean can at that point. And then I just had this ugly feeling inside like, you don't want to do that. That's far too valuable, and it was just this little check. So then I changed my mind. I went and I picked it up, and I decided to go ahead and work on repairing it. And I used my hands. And I wear the coat to this day. It's like been 20 years. And I still have it with me. And I'm glad I did not just toss that thing aside foolishly. Oh, yeah, I put duct tape inside the little tear and used that to sew it back up, and so it held together nicely.
So this is where you pull the mic over
Yep.
me? Nice. Who else? Who else has a story? Tell me about a time when you changed your mind. We got one in the back.
Well, there are times in the past where I see the people on the side of the road with the, please help, God bless signs, and in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know who they are. I don't want to give them anything. But then there's been a number of occasions where I had food in my car. So at least I gave them some food. Like one time I gave one man 2 packs of rolls that were like already cooked. On another occasion, I gave a woman some pancakes that I got for free at a restaurant. It's like buy the breakfast, get the pancakes free or something. And just giving strangers at least some food that I have left, I'm left over because I'm too full for it or I have extra.
Nice. Anybody else? One more? That's it? All right. You ready for a promise from the Bible? How about that one? That's not what you were expecting. Jesus told his followers near the end, in this world you will have troubles. So your next question is, think about a time when you've had that trouble, when you've been going through something, when something's happened. The question is, how do you balance it? How do you focus on something other than just that situation? You got that situation in your mind, it just consumes you, right? Because it's the thing that's going on. How do you focus on anything other than that? How do you make sure you're okay, but also still take care of others? Because we talk about it all the time, make sure you're loving on the people around you. So how do you take care of yourself when that's going on and also keep your mind on others? How do you decide how much to share? Right? There's sometimes people need to know something about what's going on, but they don't need to know the whole thing. So how do you get that balance? In this world, you will have troubles. So think of a trouble and talk to your group about how you balance that trouble versus loving on the people around you. Trouble versus loving on the people around you. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, I love the conversation. There's a ton of people talking about this. Were y'all able to answer this? Were y'all able to talk through this? Were you able to come up with something troubling in your life? Who wants to talk about it? Anyone? Go ahead.
Well, I had a counselor one time. First of all, I tend to fixate on a problem, and it just rolls in my head, rolls around, and I can't get it off my mind. So I had a counselor help me one time say, it's okay to take the thought, whatever it is, whatever the problem is, whatever you're fretting over, put it in a box, close the lid, and set the box up on the shelf. It's not going to go anywhere. You can always come back and pick it up whenever you want to, but it's there and you can move on. And that really works for me.
Okay, great. Who else? Who else? Balance. We're giving somebody else. Let's see if somebody else.
No problem.
You've gotten it. Yeah, we'll just give you another. Let somebody else try. Anybody else?
Thanks, Gabby. I don't get to hold it.
Love it.
She did. That's pretty good. You're a good kid. I don't care what they say about you. So, October 27th of last year, my Achilles tendon snapped in half, and I got surgery to suture it back together on November 1st. And, throughout the entire process, it's like being single, no kids. It's like you don't realize how kind of disconnected you are or isolated you are until you go through a situation like that. You have to answer the questionnaire like, who's your living relative who can provide discharge care for you? And I'm like, is there a neighbor you would like to have come to your home? No. And so, so I'm in my home by myself in pain, and my legs elevated, and you're just like, oh, wait, what do I do? And I'm a social creature. So to try to balance stuff, I tried reaching out to folks that I knew was also going through different things. And I was like, hey, listen, I know you're going through this. I know mom's sick and that kind of stuff. Is there anything I can just talk to you about or just kind of pray with you about? And it kind of gave me a chance to kind of take my mind off myself and kind of focus on their problems. So that's one of the ways that I balance. And I will say that Friday, shout out to HL, he reached out to me and says, hey man, I'd just like to drop by. I'm just going to drop off a lunch to you. And he stopped by with Panera, and he brought by Siler and Elena. And it just blessed my soul to hang out with three of them. So anyways, that's my story.
There you go.
Give him a hug.
Oh, yes. Thanks, guys.
So reaching out to others instead of focusing on yourself, that's good. Balance, right? And then having others show up. Balance. What else? What other techniques do we have? What other things have you done? Don't be afraid. We're all family.
I just said that usually when anything like that happens is I shove every ounce of emotion out of it, and then I methodically go through a to-do list of what needs to happen to solve the problem, to solve the whatever, and then after the crisis is done, then I get to feel things.
Now, do you let anybody else in that bubble, or is it you do that all yourself?
I try to let people in. Not the most else.
Still working on that balance. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's great. Did you have one? I saw somebody pointing over here. We got one more? Anybody else? These are great. These are great things. Like we're learning from each other. One more. Got one in the back.
It's not so much about the balance, but it's the previous slide where it talks about God will be with us. And I was scrolling through media last night, and I saw someone had posted the fact that when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were in the fiery furnace, and Daniel was in the lion's den, they weren't experiencing God's prevention of their problems. He was in the midst of their problems. I have to think about where I'm at and then what I can do to reach out to other people to realize that I'm not the only one who has an issue or has a problem or has had a problem. We're surrounded by it. So it helps, like they said, to reach out to other people and do other things. Just focus on other people as opposed to yourself.
Yeah. I've heard that a couple of times, right? Getting outside yourself, still thinking about others, still loving on others. Not easy, especially when you're going through that crisis, when you're in that moment, when stuff's going on. But that's a great way you're not the only one. You're not the only one in that situation or in a situation. Anyone else before I move on? Oh, we got one more.
I think something that came up, it's important to note that none of us necessarily have the balance thing all figured out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we did, then how would God play into that? Like, we have to have a need, and so our desire to balance it and our inability to do so invites him to come in and be there for us during that time.
Thank you. Good word. That's why we talk to each other, right? You get to hear fun stuff like that. So one of the things we talk about at school all the time is, what's your why? What's getting you up in the morning to come to school to finish your degree? What's that thing? Because education is going to be hard. Life is going to be hard. Something's going to happen. What's going to be the thing that gets you up in the morning? What's going to be the thing that makes you come? Now, when you're under 18, it's your mom yelling at you. My mom used to have a water gun and stand on the other side of the room and squirt me if I didn't get up. She was out of the range, so I couldn't flail. But that was her thing, right? But for you, what's getting you up in the morning? So we're going to have troubles. We're going to have things that happen. We're going to have moments when we have to stop and check ourselves. What gets you up in the morning? What's your why? All right, who's got it? Back table to start? I had a volunteer stop me in the middle. What's your why, back table? Bob.
I just think of it. He's starting it. Why not? I'm serious. Dennis, take. Hold on. Dennis, take.
There's always one.
There's two parts to this. We all over here said, why not? Because a perfect example, like at our house, is each day when you wake up, we really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're supposed to have 2 grandsons stay with us Saturday, but because one stayed home that day and stayed with his 2 buddies, and they went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, so that changed. He didn't want to come to our house, so the other grandson said, well, if he's not coming, I'm not coming. Then my daughter says, well, what about Ezra? He don't have nowhere to go. So we said, okay, why not? So we took him, and he stayed with us last night. And we just say that every day it unfolds, especially for Vicky, because Vicky can be planning one thing, and all of a sudden somebody will call, and it'll change everything. So why not wake up every day?
That's right.
That's what he said.
It's one of the things, yeah, it's great. You can clap on that. It's one of the things I talk about people with small group. People say, well, what if only 2 people show up? I'm like, great, I get to talk to 2 people. If 12 people show up, great, I get to talk to 12 people, right? And you get a whole different conversation between 2 people than you do with 12, and both of them are awesome, right? So, yeah. Who else? What's your why? Right over here.
I love being outside because that's where I find God, in nature, in the clouds, just wherever. And so if I'm outside, I'm drawing closer to Him than I can when I'm on the inside of a building or my home or whatever. So I want to get up because I want more of Him.
There you go. Good job. Good stuff. Who else? We got one up front.
We were pretty short and honest. We got 3 old guys at the table, and all 3 of our wives, we just had to use the restroom. So. That's it.
True story.
Yeah. Once we're up, we're up.
Sometimes it's very practical. Who else? One more. You got another one? Is that what we're going to end on? Really? What else? One more. One more why. Over here.
Loud, so I don't know if you need that. We talked about how the why changes all the time. When you're younger, it's, so your mother don't beat you to death, like you said. And then you got kids, so the why is, that, your career, and it just, that why changes all the time.
True. All right, so I read you this verse, but how many of you recognize I only read you half of it? You know what the rest of it says? But take heart, I have overcome the world. So in all these things we talk about, right? Of all the troubles, of all the things that happen, the people around you, the whys, like all this stuff that goes on. Don't forget this piece. Sometimes we get stuck here. And we stay here. This is where I want you to get stuck. Keep moving past the troubles. Because He's overcome it. And because He's overcome it, then we can love on the people around us. Because He's overcome it, we have more hope than just right now. Because He's overcome it, we're free. So don't stay in the troubles. Move past till I've overcome the world.